Okay, I think we'll start off. So we'll use the exact same model that we modeled last time. Okay, the same dimension, same material, so that you guys can compare the um, values easily. Okay, so the same model, a three-story building. Okay, the columns of dimension 3 mm by 25 mm, a slab that is connected at three-story levels of size 150 mm by 300 mm of thickness 12 mm. Everything is made of aluminium. So to start with, new project, don't forget to select space here. Okay, I just now made a model in which I had not used space, I'd used plane. In the end, it does not really show it as an error, but it shows as a warning. Okay, so to avoid that, select space here and then continue. So first thing you do is modeling geometry. Okay, you enter the coordinates for all the nodes. So what I did is I did not create the nodes for all the stories. First, I created only these four nodes. Okay, the bottom four nodes. So if I take one of them as the origin, the other will be at a distance of 300 mm along the x-axis, 150 along y-axis. Similarly, get these four nodes. Once you get these four nodes, you can use translational repeat to move it up the stories. Okay, or you can create one story and then use this translational repeat option. You can select whatever is to be repeated, and this is to be repeated in the y direction. Select y direction. Each story height was 400 mm. Change the spacing to 400. Repeat it for three stories. Clear? That is as far as the modeling is concerned. Don't sit and type the nodes for all three stories. Do it only for the first four nodes. That should be enough. Okay. Next, once the geometry part is done in the under modeling, once geometry is done, simply go to general right below your geometry. Okay. So here again, exactly like key tabs, first thing we define is the material that we're going to use. So under general, the first tab here at the bottom is material. Okay. By default, there is a material called aluminium. Okay, so what you can do is instead you can't really edit the values of default materials that is being defined. For example, aluminium was pre-existing. If I try to edit it, what it does is it shows me the values, but I can't really edit it. Okay, so in order for there to be coherence between your ETABS model and your STAD model, it is advisable that your Young's modulus value, your shear modulus value, your Poisson's ratio values between the two softwares match. So first, you can model it off on STAD, use these values and give them as input in your ETABS so that there is a better matching of results. Okay. So for now, I'm not going to define a new material with ETABS values. I'll use the built-in aluminium model. Okay. Define aluminium. Once the material is defined, you'll have to define the section properties. So like I said, in this model, we don't have beams. We only have columns and we have slabs. So for that, go to property. Okay, so for columns, I'll use a rectangular section. So this is the rectangular section I've defined. Okay, 3 mm thickness to 25 mm width, made of aluminium. Okay, the columns are done. Next, for slab, it is 150 mm by 300 mm and 12 mm thickness throughout. So here, plate thickness, edit. So 150 mm by 300 mm is the size because of the plan geometry, and 12 mm is the thickness. Okay, made of aluminium again. So that is done. So you've defined your columns and your slab now. So what all is done? We finished the modeling part. We have assigned the material. We have assigned the uh, property cross-sectional dimensions. Next, you have to assign the support condition. Since we'll be fixing it along the base, all the four nodes at the base will be fixed. So you can go to support. Okay. By default, there is nothing. So you'll have to create fixed, say add. Okay. Once that is done, select the four nodes, apply fixed support to all the four nodes at the bottom. Clear? So we're done with geometry, material, support. Next, you will have to define the loads. Okay. So for load, it is slightly different from what we do in ETABS. Okay. So first under load case details, say add, okay, and create a load case. Okay, say load case 1 and keep it aside. I've created load case 1. Next, under load case 1, we'll have to add 2 things. Make a note of this. This is very important. Now, when we are subjecting this model to any kind of load, we are expecting the model to sway in the horizontal direction. Okay. So at this point of time, I'm not really worried about what the self-weight of the building is along gravity. I'm more concerned about how this slab is going to go in the horizontal direction. Okay. If you look at the coordinate axis here, it is the x-axis. So my building will basically sway along x-axis like this, correct? So whatever self-weight I define, I want it to act only along x direction. So what you do, click on load case, go to add, you get this window, go to self-weight, and this direction has to be changed to x. Okay, this factor can be +1, -1, it does not really matter, but I want it to act only along x direction because the mode shapes that I want, or the frequency, 3 frequencies for vibration that I want, is along the x direction, not along any other direction. Okay, so change this to x, change this factor to 1, -1, doesn't matter. Okay, add, so you get the self-weight factor x. Okay, assign it to all the members, all the columns and all the slabs. Now this has already been assigned. If you can see, it says 1 to 4, 9 to 12, 17 to 20, 25 to 27. It has been assigned to all the columns and slabs. Next, unlike E-tabs where you don't really have to add a specific command to determine what the mode shapes is, in this case, you'll actually have to add a command. So same, click on load case again, click on add again, go to the very last option that is there. Okay, what is the last option here? Frequency. Okay, under frequency, you have 2 tabs, Rayleigh frequency and modal calculation. I think ma'am must have done your Rayleigh method, but we use Rayleigh method only to find out one of the more natural frequencies. Okay, in this case, we want 3 mode shapes, or 3 frequencies. So go to modal calculation and click on add. Okay, this add here. Now you can see that there's a toggle switch here which says consider missing mass mode. I've already told you guys what missing mass mode is. Let me quickly find that PDF. So you remember this. Okay, if you have a say 3-story building, the top lump mass will be half a story on top. Okay, the next will be half from top, half from bottom. But when we come to bottom story, this slab will have half from top, half from bottom, but this lower half of the bottom story is not considered anywhere. Okay, so that is considered to be missing mass. So this is a key thing. So as far as that is concerned, and as far as all our models is concerned, whatever we'll be doing in our dynamic slab, since the size of the model is very less, okay, and the weight is also not much as compared to real life buildings, selecting this, not selecting this will not really make a difference to your final results. Okay, if you want, you can run with this, without this, and compare the results. The values will vary probably in the fifth decimal or sixth decimal. So it does not matter if you select this or not. So all you have to do is click on load case, go to add, go to frequency, go to modal calculation, say add. Okay, that is all. Next, once modal calculation is added, you don't really have to assign it to anything because this is just a a command that is applied to the entire model by default. You don't really have to go and sit and apply to individual members like we do for self-weight. Okay, and if you remember, we applied a command in E-tabs where we went and curtailed the number of. One second, HOD sir is joining. I'll add him. So in E-tabs, what we did was to curtail the number of mode shapes that to restrict it to the number of stories in a building. So if I have a 3-story building, I'll assume it to be 1 degree of freedom, 2 degree of freedom, 3 degree of freedom. Similarly, you'll have to do the same thing in E-tabs. Otherwise, it will take infinite degrees of freedom. So for that, what you'll have to do, go to commands. Okay, the last command that is there, miscellaneous. Click on that. In this, there is an option called cutoff mode shapes. Where is it? Oh, here, cutoff mode shapes. Okay, click on that and tell how many mode shapes I want. Okay, in reality, any civil engineering structure we take will actually have infinite degrees of freedom. It is only that we make this assumption that number of degrees of freedom is equal to number of mode shapes is to make our life easier, so that calculations become easier. Okay, so since it's a 3-story building, change this number to 3. Okay, and click OK. Now the results that you will get is restricted to 3 mode shapes and 3 frequencies only. This is one key thing you cannot forget. Okay. Otherwise, you'll get a lot of frequencies and your values will not match between ETABS and STAT. Understood? There is literally no other load case or load combination that needs to be applied. So define a load case, add self weight. Again, to be remembered that it has to be along the horizontal X direction only. Okay. Or in this case, it is X direction because I've modeled the building like this. In case you twist the building by 90 degrees, you'll have to do it along Z direction. Okay. So whichever horizontal axis your building is going to sway in. Next, modal calculation required. You can add or neglect your missing mass. It won't really make a difference. Okay. Next, commands, miscellaneous, cutoff mode shapes. Okay. 2, 3. Done. Next, I've already run this model, so I'll just delete the last few commands. 1 second. Save, close. Now, if you guys remember when we did our stat lab, when we used to go to commands and then analysis, we used to say perform analysis and we gave no print. Okay. I prefer giving all because you get the results in the report directly. Okay. So I'll say all. Okay. Analyze, run analysis, save. And since there is only one load case, it does not really take a lot of time. Okay. See, we have 0 errors and 1 warning. I told you this 1 warning is because initially when I started modeling this model, I had not assumed it to be a space structure. I took it as a 2D structure. So it will give me an error. It says using the command space instead of plane. Okay. It will not really make a lot of difference. It is just a warning. So you can neglect it for now. Next, the analysis is done. You can go to the post-processing mode, apply the load case. Now it will give you the results. Okay. Unlike for your static load cases, you have a separate tab called dynamics here at the bottom. Can you see this? Click on that. This is for the dynamics. Okay. Here, what I'll do is I'll enable the front view so that the view is proper front view. Okay. Next, if I want to see animation about how the thing is swaying, you can use this. Okay. But unfortunately, right now, you can't see it because the scale is a little too high. So what we'll have to do is go to scale. Okay. If you see this mode shape, it is at 0.1. Now, this scale of 0.1 is actually more suitable for high-story buildings. But we have a very small model. So bring this to around 10. Okay. Say apply. Okay. Go here. Click on mode 1. Click on mode here. Apply. Okay. Now, can you see? This is the deflect mode shapes for mode 1, for mode 2, for mode 3, similar to whatever results you got from ETABS. Okay. Now, as far as results is concerned, the value of frequencies, go to dynamics again, you get this table here directly. If you remember the values we got 2 weeks ago, it is the exact same values that we got on ETABS as well. 2.92 something, 8 point something, and 11 point something. Okay, the corresponding time periods. What this participation factor is, we'll learn about it when we do earthquake next semester. For now, you only have to be concerned with your frequencies and time periods. Any doubts? I think the procedure is fairly simple.
No, sir, understood.
Okay, I think the entire class is there. Okay, fine. So what I want you guys to do is, since both the software's briefing has been done, I'll not really give assignments because I found out some of you all don't have laptop and some of you all don't have the software. But if possible, you already have the dimensions for all the models correct. Start modeling them. Okay, don't wait for the college to start. You already have the model, you have the density, you have the self weight. Start doing it. If not individually doing all the models, maybe you can divide yourselves in groups. Just make sure there is a soft copy model of all the 12 models that is there in the lab in both ETABS and STAT. Okay, and make sure you're using the same value for all the elastic constants. It is important. Otherwise, your results will not match that much. Clear? So yeah. So once the college starts, you will be left with only 2 other parts, which is your manual excitation and your FFT using your data acquisition system that we anyways can't do now. Okay. So worst case scenario, in case we don't find time at all once the college starts, you should be prepared with at least this much, because in case we end up doing a practical exam, I'll restrict the questions to only this much. Okay, I'll give you a certain building. you'll have to model it and get me the mode shapes and frequencies. So my advice is try and take this seriously. So that is all. In case you have doubts, you can reach out to me. I am also saving this video, recording it. So I'll try and upload it somewhere. So in case you have doubts, you can just go back and look at it to see how the modeling is done. Okay. The only key thing you have to remember is that restriction of mode shapes to 3. Okay. Other than that, I don't think there's really any other complication. Any other doubts? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what we'll do next week is I think we'll do the third part. What is the third part? The manual calculation. I think ma'am has already come till transmissibility in the class, right? So I think the next part will be MDOF only. If not, the calculations are fairly simple anyways. I'll teach you guys how to do the manual calculation. So with that, we'll be done with 3/4 of the part. Okay, so let's meet next Friday. Clear? Can we end? Any doubts so far?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.